Hello, everyone. Welcome to Next Level Humanity podcast. I have Ninika here, and I'll start by letting her introduce herself. Hi, Ninika. Welcome. How are you today?
Hi, Nevsah. Thank you very much for inviting me to this podcast. I'm doing fantastic. I'm enjoying the weather, sunny, bright, and I'm
Yeah.
also very much excited to talk to you and to learn more about you and to talk about what I have been doing. And yes, I'm really excited.
Yes, please. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about your background and
Uh,
when you started business, and then where you are now.
After spending around 22, 23 years in the corporate world, I have been chasing off this journey to fulfill some of my passion, which is giving back to society. My background is basically I'm an immigrant, originally from India. However, I am now living in UK from last 16 years, where I live with my family, and this is my resident. And coming back to my background, I have spent quite a huge amount of time in the, as I said, in the corporate, like solving the problem and solving really the client, pain point in the product, strategy, technologies, in the financial services, banking sector, retail sector, and marketplace. So this is where I have got the art of understanding a real challenge in the market and shipping that to a product, because I'm a product person, and then solving that problem and then growing the business, making the growth and dwelling for the corporate. And throughout this journey, I'm very fortunate to be part of a number of communities, and biased obviously a lot of women communities. Basically, you talk about women of fintech or women on product, female founder rise. So I have been quite vocal over there in terms of ambassadoring.
We have great communities over here in London, especially for women empowerment, women in tech. I'm also part of a couple of communities, and NevCap has its own community. Women, I mean, because you're coming from an immigrant background, me as well, and I'm Turkish British. And when I look at what's going on in London and also in Britain, United Kingdom, and when I compare it to my own country, it's very different because women are so much more empowered, and there is equality, and like there's a different scenario here, which I would like to
Yeah, so
talk
I'll make it
about
short.
in a
Sorry, I'm
while
quite
after you
passionate about
finish your
when
story.
it comes to women kind of stuff. And so coming to real questions where I am, because of all this connection, I have actually seen a very vivid call. So at certain point, I could not able to stop that baby coming from me, and I said, "This is the time. I cannot." I many times I try to. It's like getting pregnant, not telling, "No, I don't want to get pregnant." Yeah. So I almost conceived.
Yeah,
I
I know
have
what
to
you
deliver.
mean. I know what
That's the
you
kind of
mean.
thing. So I said, no, this is high time. I seen the problem. I have been seeing these people, so I have to actually utilize my skill, my leadership skill, my technical skill, and my passion. And this is where it's all about innovation, Nevsah, because I'm so passionate about innovation. This is what truly I have
Yeah,
solved. So I'm doing something which is truly
I know. Yeah.
supporting the innovation, and I am hopeful it is going to reduce the gap. Currently, we have this challenge in the market. So coming to the real problem, this is a basically
Yeah.
the chicken and egg kind of problem in the start of and the funding. You know what, you are a very experienced entrepreneur. So I have
Yeah.
found Invest Connect Marketplace, and what we are doing, we have obviously a huge ambition, which obviously you will try to find out, I know. um, but this is a initial step to support founders and help them in their journey, and build traction, so that connecting them with the right partners, which is the finance part.
partners. I actually did a couple of meetings yesterday, not yesterday, on Saturday. Yesterday was Sunday, and also last week. And I've been hearing founders having problems about, getting the funding, finding the right investors. I think it's like because now there are a lot of projects, a lot of startups, a lot of founders, and a lot of investors. It's like we need to really dive deep and go niche, because finding the right investor for the investors, finding the right founder, for the founders, finding the right investor is as important as finding your co-founders. So I think that's why you're doing a brilliant job. And where are you in your project and in your company? Like, where are you in products and members, and what are your future plans? And
So this is again, doing working in corporate and building the business, both are different, right?
yeah,
With the corporate 22, 23 years, I have even done the startup kind of stuff, but with full amount of support. I need resource, I get it. I need marketing,
yeah,
so everything. But when you're building something from scratch with your own font, yeah, so and own support system, creating something from scratch, it's totally different.
you
Um,
do it. You do everything yourself, basically.
exactly, I'm the solo founder,
hmm hmm
and putting all the hats in single head. That's sometimes you have to. You can't decide the priority which hat I have to put. You have to almost put everything, at certain point. So I see a number of founders, they have been raising the fund on the paper, on the pitch. But my thought process is different, because currently post-COVID, it's too competitive market. And it's not that investors are not ready. It's, when we go to market, almost like when you want to have boyfriend girlfriend matching, it's not that there are not people. It's about right match and having that connection and everything.
Yes.
So I wanted to show my vision, and I wanted to prove myself, because I have built the product, a heavy technology product for big marketplace like comparethemarket.com. Prior to this, I have headed off their technology and emerging tech platform, and we did 30% growth in 1 year. Then we took it to Australia. So similar kind, but with my own different way. I have been bootstrapping now, and my product is now ready to onboard, which is brilliant. I have not made announcement because I'm doing that within my small communities. And when you develop the product, there are glitches comes of technology product.
hmm
So we have been fixing the glitches, but it's now you can come on board, and you can connect with other people, start chatting, start having exchange of messages. And this is how where I'm showing my vision, as well as I have communities where I can see people are quite excited too, because they are getting help,
Yes.
connection.
Yeah.
Basically, it's all about
Yeah.
connection, collaboration.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is where I am, and I have been planning number of things. It's too much for me as a solo founder. Almost at certain point, when you develop platform, I was so much engraved, giving the
hmm
requirement, making it done, and everything and all. So now I want to come out, little step back, show myself as a face value to outside. So this is
Yeah.
where I'm
Yeah.
recruiting a growth partner
Yeah.
first
Yes.
to.
Yeah, I am also interested in helping you finding a co-founder. And, the first group in NevCap started, and now we're getting the second group. And I'm very much interested in your company. We are, as a team, interested in your company and supporting you. And because one of our missions is supporting women and supporting female entrepreneurs, I would love to help you find your co-founder. And we, as NevCap, act like a co-founder. We're not a co-founder, but we usually work hand in hand with our founders, with the founders who are in our accelerator, and we introduce them to, people, collaborations and partners and investors, as well as, investing our time, money, energy and we're very much interested. So I'm sure that we will be meeting maybe around the end of June with you
Thank you.
face to face, and I'm going to be listening to more detail about your company. You're on to something very interesting because especially if you can, I mean, that's going to be kind of my mentoring to you in our meetings as well. If we can help you create this platform for a niche group of people instead of just creating a connection platform, because there are lots of platforms where investors connect with founders and this and that, but it's like, how do we differentiate? I think in projects like yours, in companies like yours, how do we differentiate is the most important thing. And I think we need to spend more time and energy on and more focus on how do we help you differentiate your product, differentiate from everything that's in the market right now. And I'm sure you already have some ideas. I already have some ideas. We have, with my two co-founders, have some ideas because we have had some pain points as founders as well. And because I speak to a lot of founders in my day-to-day business and hear about their pain points, especially when it comes to finding the right investors and finding the right partners and finding the right, funds. And also I'm in connection with investors, with angel investors, VCs, LPs. I hear their pain points. And now I kind of have this vision about what can be really useful and what's needed out there in the market. And we'll talk about that later on. But my question to you will be, because there are a lot of founders who are listening to our podcast as well as investors. As a founder, what was the hardest thing for you? Like, what was the hardest thing you overcame when you decided to invest in your own company and build your own company and build your own product? Like, what was your biggest challenge and how did you overcome that challenge?
So from last few months, I have been developing. There are a number of challenges, to be honest. However, as I said, I do not have a co-founder. I'm the solo founder. So, and
That's your biggest challenge.
biggest challenge as well as the
Sure.
funding, because
Yeah.
there is a loss of opportunity cost. When I have been heading of the department, obviously I was earning quite well, and now
Yeah.
I have put that to one place because I can't, because I almost like from last end of last year, ever since I have announced my business, I have not taken leave, and
Yeah, I know.
I feel
Yeah,
like,
that's part of being a founder.
and I'm not tired because it's my passion. I'm not
Yeah.
tired, I'm enjoying, but business has to run, like, that's why I'm saying I need a growth partner. And then, since it's a technology platform, I'll be getting a CTO so that I can oversee and then I can be the face value. So, coming to the question, the biggest hardest thing is being a solo founder and jogging, prioritizing, and second is also the fund. I have so many things in my mind, but I have to do the planning and education within the that limited resource.
Sure.
Because even it's very true that running the family with a single hand, my husband, which he is looking after everything, sending my daughter to privates and everything. So
Yeah, you're so lucky because some people don't have that.
don't have that.
I think being a founder with a strong relationship with a marriage and family is much more easier, like 10,000 times easier than being a founder just by yourself.
By
Even though you have co-founders, it doesn't matter. It's kind of like, I think of, and when, especially with NevCap, when I decide on supporting my founders, I also look at their relationships and ask them whether they have strong, solid relationships or not. Whether they are backed up or not, because we need that backup psychologically, physically, and that's such a that's such a
Yeah,
privilege.
it's a privilege, and to be honest, as I said, we have immigrant from India, and it's a different marriage kind of. Obviously, it's now changing. But I'm so fortunate, touchwood. It's
Hmm.
not only about finance, about, as you said, emotion, and
Yes, psychologically,
he's
a
also
founder needs
intelligent
constant support.
in his own way. So it's almost like dinner table, lunch table, wherever, Saturday, Sunday. I always flush out. This is what I'm doing, that thing. So someone is there to listen, and where we can flush out. So that
Yeah,
patience is also quite important, and I'm very fortunate I could able to do that. Yeah, and he's super
that's
supportive. Yeah, this is something
yeah.
which,
I'm gonna almost tell people like find a solid, have a solid relationship first
yeah,
before going out there and building something, because I have seen founders fail, give up just because they don't have that family and relationship support. People, I think, underestimate. I think especially in the business world and especially in, especially entrepreneurs underestimate the importance of having a solid relationship, having someone psychologically and also physically support you and be there for you, and having a family. Because if you don't have that, you're like, it's just so much, yeah, it's so much more frustrating if you're trying to do everything. Even though you have co-founders, I'm talking about the private life, because it's like our private life is the people who we have in our private life next to us, physically, are the ones who are kind of like supporting us at our core. But if you don't have someone supporting you in that core, even if you have co-founders and even if you have a team or business partners, it's like they're not in the core. They're just a little bit outside
yeah,
that core. And having that support is also very important. So I agree. You definitely need a co-founder, but that co-founder doesn't give us the kind of
emotional,
like the core support. So that
emotional
core
support.
support
Yeah.
is, I think, what helps most founders succeed. And I think that's what most entrepreneurs underestimate. So you have one check, husband, family, and now we are going to find your co-founder.
Yeah, so this is almost as you know, like when you are a founder, your health of your business is your health, right? So it's both. And if you, when you are not right frame of mind with body, mind, soul, so everything, you are not able to, because building a business is, every day you have to make lot of hurdles and also.
Yeah, being an entrepreneur and building a business will crash you. I tell to our founders, it's like
Exactly.
that's one of the most empowering journeys. And if you want to master life, start by mastering your business. That's what I say to my students most of the time, because self-master, I think building a business is a big part of mastering our lives. So
Mastering yourself.
yeah, that's great. So what will be the, I mean, you were very clear when you decided to, you know, when you decided which problem you are going to solve, but most entrepreneurs are not that clear. So how did that, like, when you look back a year ago or 2 years ago, you said it was kind of like a pregnancy. So what took you there? Is it some experiences? Is it some pain points? And when were you like really crystal clear about what you want to build, who you want to help, what problem you want to solve? And how did you come to that point? What do you think about that? Like when you look at your story, origin story.
So yes, because in my professional career, I have been riding the leadership ladder, and more and more I get to speak to. I had mentors, basically female or male. They are quite seniors, senior VPs and all, she suit and all. So I see a lot of same story. Like they are the investors, so they have been looking for the right project, so they don't
Hmm.
they almost don't find the right project, very curated project, to whom which
Yeah.
can give quite confidence. Yeah, this is something where yes, you can invest, and this is going to work out,
Hmm.
because it's very 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 not very clear. And even within my communities or neighborhood, I have seen people who are brilliant in innovation, but they don't take the innovation forward because they didn't
Mhm.
find the right investor and funding support. And even the
And you were
community.
probably like, wow, that's such a good project. I'm so unhappy that it couldn't find a
Good night. Yeah, and
investor.
you almost see every individual. They are so brilliant in their expertise, and when it is coming to the innovation, that this connection, the dots, the connection is missing. So
Yeah.
I have seen all the part of this connection, even in the communities itself. I have seen brilliant ladies. They are coming up with now very excitement ideas and all. But after 6 months, after 1 year, they had to, I have to run
Boom.
my
Yeah.
family and all this
Yeah.
thing. So I have seen all the side of, it's a multifaceted side of the story. Then I try to avoid, no, this is Ninika, it's a quite big problem. It's let it be there. You are right at your place. But slowly, I was getting
Mm.
buzzed, getting disturbed by this thing. And you did mention
The
about before.
discomforts grew bigger and bigger, right?
Yes, and then I said, no, this is the time. And then one day I said to my husband, I need to go. It's enough.
Yeah, it's
I
like it's obviously your calling. It's so obvious. And when it's our calling, I think we become in a way unstoppable. And I love supporting founders who have a clear calling and who are on a clear mission. Because even though the company doesn't maybe grow 100x, doesn't make 100x, even if the company make 10x or maybe 5x, it keeps on growing. So, and one last thing, and this is for female founders. This is kind of like a theory, an idea, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Uh, because I'm working with female founders, supporting business founders, female founders, and I'm part of a couple of groups like you are, supporting young female founders also in Turkey, collaborated with a nonprofit organization. Um, what I have been seeing is how male founders and female founders function are very different. Male founders can be very analytic and can be very clear on which product they want to create, and they can be very clear on how many years it's going to take them, and they can grow businesses in 3 to 4 years, 4 to 5 years, just fully focused on one thing and one product. We female founders, I think for female founders, because we are mission driven and because we can't fully focus and concentrate and own a project or a problem, if it's not heartfelt, if it doesn't have kind of like the spiritual side of it, if it's not a calling, it is not easy for the female founder to keep on, building and keep on building the product and the company. So it's kind of like, in a way, for female founders, it's more emotional. Business is more emotional than what it is for male founders. For male founders, it can be about the money, can be, it's not that emotional. But for us, it's kind of like the spiritual calling and emotional and a problem we want to solve. And we create this company as if it was our baby, and we take less risks. And at the end of the day, it is almost impossible for a female founder to fully fail, because we keep on putting effort, like we keep on putting effort to our children, until it comes. It can take longer than male founders, but what I've been seeing in female founders is we hardly give up. We just, cling to what is important for us. And that's why I think on the investor side, I think investing to a female founder is less risky. I think investing to a male founder is kind of like gambling, because he
I
can
must say,
just quit. It's kind of like, he can just quit and leave. He wouldn't care. But for us, it is not that easy to quit. We find ways to keep the company growing because it's more emotional. We see our companies as our babies. What do you think about that? That's kind of like my human behavior expert analysis?
I must say from where you are coming, because this is the kind of behavior, the way male and female gene has been born, has been created, and this is
Yeah.
not only in building the business, even in the professional life also. I have seen the way when I have been working with my peers in the leadership, the way
Hmm.
they tackle, the way we tackle, it's a bit different. So when I was
Yeah.
building the platform for Tesco Technologies, Tesco is wonderful, and the director, senior director with whom I have been working, he was trying his best to bring more and more female leadership, but unfortunately, it's not everything in his hand. So I did
Mm.
ask once, what is why there is less female. He said, please you bring, I will welcome. So I have seen the way male female, on even leadership, the way they tackle. But this is how we are. We bring a lot of colors, we bring emotion, we
Yeah.
bring the
Yeah.
we holistically look into the problem, and not just, it's not sustainable. If you did talk about, like, okay, if this doesn't work, go for there, it's not sustainable, a year or two. But as a female, as you said, we are chasing our passion, we are really driven. It's like, as you said, like baby. And yes, we are quite emotionally attached, but again, I must say that is also because you are building something, you must have to also be ready to pivot. It's all about your customer, all about your the market, the problem. So what they are looking for, you must have to
Yes. Yeah.
pivot, ready
Yeah.
to pivot. And like tomorrow, if I partner with an investor, I believe, like, I believe it must be C, because even a co-founder, investor, I'm very passionate to bring all the female to my
Yeah. Yeah.
system.
Yeah.
And with her experience and with her entrepreneurship, obviously we'll try to make the system quite sustainable, and we'll always check the temperature. But yes, it is more about passion, emotion, and looking holistically, rather than, okay,
Yeah.
business, money, and all these things. Yeah.
Yeah. And that, I think, pays in the end. Thank you so much, Ninika, for our lovely conversation. I'll probably have you again in my podcast in a couple of months, when hopefully we are working together with your company as NevCap. And hopefully I will be meeting you in person very soon in London. Thanks to all of our listeners and everyone who's watching us on YouTube. Thanks a lot, Ninika.
Thank you very much, Nevsah, and it's my pleasure to talk to you. I really look forward to collaborate with you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone. See you in the next episode.